Hello, everyone.
Hello,
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good.
I'm changing over to my phone.
Okay. Mark, would you test your audio?
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. There you are.
Again, I had to look to see if it was still morning or not.
Barely. Depends on where you are, I guess.
Right.
That's that country song, It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You have entered the meeting as a panelist. Attendees can now hear you speak. This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, it's better. You hear me fine?
Yes.
Good.
I was looking
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how you doing?
I am good. How about you?
Doing well, doing well.
That's good. I'm interested to hear about this bridge.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting projects. As an engineer, it's something that you hope doesn't happen, but it's kind of fun to get your hands a little dirty with.
Yeah, it's good. I was in Pittsburgh a few years ago when the Liberty Bridge caught fire, and that was very interesting.
Wow.
They had I had some seminars afterwards that they gave, and it's an old truss bridge across the Monongahela River, and it was basically minutes away from collapse.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, the heat. They were welding, and there were some plastic pipes stored below where they were welding, and some of the sparks fell and ignited the plastic. Hello, Eric.
Howdy.
So Mark, you're gonna make the presentation, and then Eric, and is Brianna gonna be on as well, as far as we know?
Yeah, as far as I haven't heard, she isn't. So,
All right.
yeah.
So then, as panelists, what's your involvement then, Eric? Just helping answer questions, or?
Yeah, so originally this started as they wanted Brianna and I to kind of just give a download on the CIP and upcoming projects and all of that kind of stuff, right? But then the 7th Street has been kind of a hot kind of presentation, right? And people want to see it. And I know that previously when we had proposed, or when I had presented to this group is more interested in the technical side than some of the other groups that we present to. So I thought, well, the 7th Street Bridge would be a perfect presentation for this group. So we kind of shifted the plan of what we were going to present from the city. So we got Mark on board to give the presentation. And then if there are questions at the end related to the CIP or projects or those types of things, Brianna and I can speak to that. Really, I think Brianna and I are just here because we were the original, main attractions, and we found a better main attraction. So now we got Mark instead. So no, we're here for basically support, right? And then to answer any questions there may be at the end, but we're not, Mark's got a really great presentation that he'll be able to share.
All right, great. Sounds really good. Yeah, I'm going to go through, Mark. I'll go through just initial introductions and some housekeeping stuff we're going to do. It would just take a few minutes, and then I'm just going to, so I'll share my screen when I do that. Then I'll just hand it over to you, and you can do whatever you need to do. You have a PowerPoint or something, or are you just going to talk, or what?
I got show and tell. It's always good to have some visuals to help people understand what's going on.
Absolutely. Good. Yeah, so then I'll stop sharing my screen. You can share your screen, and then go to town. We'll take some questions through the Q&A there and hold them off to the end, and then we'll come back with some questions and just take it from there.
Absolutely. Now, looking forward to it.
All right, Maisha, is there anything else we need to be doing?
No, I'm gonna be running the tech from the background here, so I'll kind of keep an eye on the Q&A, I guess pop up or that profile area. Sometimes what I'll do with Stephanie is just remind people in the chat to post their questions in the Q&A piece because it does help us to facilitate those a little easier. I don't think we had a poll question unless I missed it.
No, I
So-
don't think we did. Yeah.
So I'm going to disappear. You're not going to see the Y2K logo or anything, but I'll still be here. And then I will also take attendance for you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we typically like open it up now and then start right at 12. So we could kind of keep that same routine, or we can open it up at 12, give people a couple of minutes to come in, and then you can start whenever you feel is a good time.
Well, we can open it up now, and
Okay.
I'll start at noon. I like to be prompt.
Okay.
So there's Brianna.
Yeah.
Good.
Last question is, how many people did you have registered?
It was around 40.
Okay. It just helps me to know
The
when
last I
I'm
heard.
taking roll.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the last I saw this morning was around 40.
Okay.
So
Okay, well, nice to meet you all. I'm going away, but I'm still here. Also,
disappearing
when
in the
we start
background.
the recording, I'm going to start the webinar and then we'll be recording. So mindful
Okay.
of all the things.
All right. So you're doing all the recording, and we don't have to do anything with that.
Correct.
Okay,
We
good.
just lost Brianna though.
Oh.
There she is. Okay.
She's back. All right.
I just want to make sure we've got good tech. She may have to call in on audio if her internet audio isn't working.
Okay.
I think
Mark
that's
and
what
Eric,
she's trying
aren't
to
you are you close to Brianna? Aren't you guys real close together? I mean, if yours work, hers should work.
Yeah, no, I could walk down the hall and go see her. Yeah.
I'm about a half a mile away from them. I'm in a separate building than they are.
Oh, okay.
They can walk down
Yeah,
here
it
if
looks
they
like
want.
her. It's getting hot out now. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I was fourth in line for this meeting, so to host, because Stephanie is our president. She was supposed to host, but she had to leave town. And then our president-elect, Sky, she had to leave town. And then Larry, our past president, he had a personal situation to attend to, so everything dropped down to the vice president, which I thought I didn't have anything to do. I'm vice president. I shouldn't have to do anything, but here I am. So I'll give it my best shot.
Yeah, this is a good one to be in charge of. Brianna, can you hear us, or can we hear you now?
Yes, I can hear now. I had to call in because it would not come through my computer. I don't know why I always have problems with Zoom, but.
Yeah, I always do. I always call in. For some reason, my Zoom on my computer, the audio just fades in and out all the time. So.
All right, guys, we are starting this webinar in 3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you. All right, let me go here. Oops, there we go. All right, it's around noon. Well, there, it just turned noon on my computer, so hopefully everyone has joined our monthly meeting here for the Phoenix branch of ASCE. We call it lunch with the Phoenix branch, so if you're having lunch, good. If you're not, I can't help you. So hopefully that won't last much longer. Maybe we'll get back and have our lunch meetings. So thank everyone for joining this afternoon. We're going to have a great presentation on the City of Phoenix 7th Street Bridge Fire. Mark Locke's going to give us a great presentation, and he has some support from Eric Froberg and Brianna Velez. First, a little housekeeping we're going to run through. We really want to thank Jan Kaprowski and Y2K Engineering for hosting this event. We appreciate their involvement and assistance with these Zoom meetings. This is our current board, and if you ever have any questions about the branch or what we do, or you want to join, you can see anyone here. You can go online and find us. Here's some of our chairs of our committees, and we appreciate all the effort they put into it. You can see we have a very close attachment with ASU. I think Eric went to Arizona though, so I don't know, maybe he's not happy about that one, but right now we're getting ready for elections for next year, 2021 and 2022, and we do have a vacancy right now for treasurer. So if anyone is interested, you can contact Larry. There's his email right there if you want to get a hold of him, or again, any board member you know, just contact any of us, and we would love to have you get involved with the board. In June, we plan on having a joint meeting with ITE on the Tempe streetcar project. We think that'll be really interesting. As you can see, it's another virtual meeting, which I hope will be the last one. I just keep pushing for that. I miss seeing everyone's faces. So, and we have a sustainability committee that has started up. Mike Neighbor has started that. He's very passionate about sustainability, and we would like to get more committee members in there. So if anyone is interested in helping Mike out, helping the board out with the sustainability committee, again, contact Mike or any board member. And ASCE is running a member get a member. We're trying to get more members always, and there's a little cash incentive for us as a board and individuals. So if we can round up more members, however you can round up, get them in here. The more the merrier. We're also looking for sponsors. We usually have these sponsors for our lunch meetings. It's obviously been difficult during the pandemic and these virtual meetings, but we're going to be live again soon. And if you want to sponsor our meetings or be a corporate sponsor or help YMF or the students, again, please contact us. There will be PDHs for this meeting today, and those will be sent out after the meeting. Here's Mark Glock. He's going to give us a presentation on the 7th Street Bridge Fire. He is the Deputy Street Director for the City of Phoenix. He has a degree from the University of Nevada. He started his career with Nevada DOT, joined Phoenix in 2000. Currently the City of Phoenix Streets Transportation Deputy Director, responsible for managing and programming and project delivery division. You can see all his other good stuff there. I hate to read stuff because I think people can read for themselves. And there's a support panel by Eric Froberg, the city engineer for Phoenix, and Brianna Velez for the City of Phoenix Assistant Street Transportation Director. So at the end, we'll answer any questions people have. Please put those in the Q&A part of the Zoom meeting, and we'll get to as many questions as we can. Eric and Brianna are here to answer questions that maybe Mark can't answer or just doesn't want to answer. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark. Mark, tell us all about the fire.
Joseph, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to come and share. It's an exciting project, catastrophic project. Joseph and I were kind of sharing a little earlier that, as catastrophic as this project was, and thank goodness nobody was hurt. But the engineer in me, the challenge on doing the repair of the structure is you don't get these options very often. So I truly appreciate you allowing me to come in and share kind of where we are right now. I will start to share my screen. If it doesn't share correctly, please let me know. Let me get this. And let me, sorry about this. Let me get into here. I need to share my screen. I'm working off of a couple different screens here, so I do apologize. Do screen one. Let me go to this one here. There we go. Everybody see the screen? Very good. Thank you. So for the 7th Street Bridge, on February 28th, a 10-inch high pressure gas main failed and caught fire, and the fire burned for about 2 hours before it was put out. And I'll show you a quick little video here. It's pretty impressive. Everybody see that? Very good. So that's what it looked like, a 10-inch gas line that burns for 2 hours, and it just devastated that north end of the bridge. So we get a call early morning on February 28th that the bridge had caught fire. Once you come out and you get involved in one of these, what do you do to begin with? So the first steps are to secure the site. You have to make sure the site is safe. A lot of people want to come out and take a look at the site, see the damage, see what's going on. And we need to keep those people out of there. We also need to be able to have access for all of our emergency response teams that are coming in and out of the site. And just for all of the news media that was interested in what was going on, you need to have a staging area for them. So you have to get that site secured, safe, to where nobody is going to get hurt. Next, you have to establish traffic control. You have to be able to move the public around. You have to be able to tell them what roads are open. Since this is crossing the Salt River Bridge, we have 16th Street Bridge to the east, and our next closest bridge is Central Avenue, which is to the west. But unfortunately, Light Rail has that torn up a little bit for their construction. So that pushed that west traffic further to the west over to 7th Avenue. And then, of course, you have 19th Avenue further down. So it makes it a little difficult for people to get around, and we want to get them involved as quick as we can to give them an avenue to get around. So the next step is public outreach. We need to get the media involved, all the social media type of items, and let people know that there is a problem. Please stay away, and avenues to get across the river bridge. So it's real important to get that information out, keep people away. Unfortunately, that sometimes brings people over to see what was going on, but we at least able to get traffic minimized through the area. It takes about a week for traffic, for commuters to truly understand, the road is closed. It's going to be closed for quite a while. And so it at least gives them an option to find a different route. So once we get everything secured, safe, and you start thinking, okay, what do we do now? How are we going to get this fixed? City forces are definitely not going to be able to do this. So what we need to do is we need to engage with an engineer. So we engaged with Hunter Contracting. Sunday morning, I made phone calls. By Sunday afternoon, they were out there and part of our team, and start to look at how to do the repairs. So first off, what happened? the 10-inch gas main, it was a flange that we think that that let loose. And what you can see on the screen right here is there are 4 bolts that are actually missing out of this flange, and that's kind of what is the thought of what happened, but we don't know at this time. Again, the pipe is being tested right now. This is a Southwest gas line. Our Phoenix Fire was involved with it, but what Phoenix Fire did was they actually engaged with ATF, and they kind of took over the scene, and they are now testing that flange right there. And what you're seeing right here is this is kind of a little expansion joint, and this actually moves back and forth. And once the fire was burned out, what you're seeing here is just a little bit of a residual gas that actually burned for quite a while. But what we had to do was to be able to test this and test it to truly know what was going on. We couldn't allow any of these parts to move, and this is a very movable part. So we had to cut the pipe on both ends and get this section of pipe out. Unfortunately, this is right underneath the north abutment of the bridge, and there's no way to get down in there to get this out. It's very large and cumbersome, and I'll show you a picture here in a second. So what you're seeing here, this is the mechanism that the contractor developed to be able to secure the pipe from not moving. And we'll have a better, actually, I'll just zoom in on it right now. You can kind of see that they had everything immobile to where nothing would move, and they were able to bring it out. If I can go back a slide, I want to screw up my slide. So to get this out, I wanted to go back to this slide. To get this out, we actually had to cut the deck. We removed the deck, of course, but we had to cut the deck and actually lift it out vertically rather than try to get it out from underneath. Again, there's just no room underneath the bridge to get that done. So damage that it caused, this is up on the north approach. See the light pole, and then you can kind of see the railing. It you know, some art people might like that look, but that's not the true look of what that railing is. And underneath the structure right here on the right picture, you see that there's the Rio Salado pathway is underneath here. Our Parks Department manages this whole area. And underneath here, you can kind of see where the path was and actually is underneath there. But what happened was that the fire burned so hot for so long that it actually spalled the concrete underneath the bridge. And this is the remnants that you're seeing underneath there. We'll have a better picture of the look underneath the structure right there. But all the rebar is exposed at this point. So this bridge it's a 5-span bridge, and the first 2 spans are the 2 northern spans are the ones that were damaged. So once you get a fire like this, you close the road, who's it going to impact? So of course you have the vehicles, traveling public. I mentioned earlier, how do you get them around? How do you get people to stay away? The transit, our bus riders are impacted. Buses have to be rerouted, but then you also have the pedestrians. And you just think about it, if this avenue is closed off, they have at least a mile to get around. So it's a 3-mile walk to get around to get where they needed to go. So so it makes it difficult for them. Bicyclists. So the day of the fire, I was out there. We had the bridge barricaded off with the wooden barricades and the tape that goes around there. And there were 3 or 4 bicycles that came right across the bridge. Hey, what's going on? So, you know, the sightseers are tough to keep away. Surrounding businesses. So the surrounding businesses, this is University Drive that you're seeing right here, University. And so the businesses on the north side are affected because of the road being closed, but it's the ones there's a couple businesses that are south of University. The ones that's here on the northwest corner of the bridge, this is their main access for the deliveries. And you can see the day of the fire, we had this all barricaded off, and we worked with them to get only access for them to get in and out to where they can at least have some sort of deliveries for them. Rio Salado pathway, I mentioned that earlier. Again, all the way underneath the bridge is the Rio Salado area. And there's a lot of people that use that pathway, from people that walking, jogging, and bicyclists on the weekend. There's a lot of them. So it impacts a lot of people. And the last one, so you kind of figure you kind of caught everything, but the one that actually caused the fire, there's utilities that cross that bridge also. And there's an AT&T line that crosses on the west side of the bridge there. And those individuals were out there, I was chatting with them, and it's one of those lines that are $1 million a minute. And you think, well, is it really $1 million a minute? It was so important to them that this happened Sunday night. They had crews mobilized out there, and they had a overhead over the river and connected by Monday morning. So it was very important to them and very costly for them. So it impacts a lot of different people and businesses. So I don't want to get overly involved with this. I know we have engineers on this, and some of you are very familiar with bridges, but I just wanted to give you just a quick 101 on how bridges are built and the importance of them. So you have the foundation, which are the drill shafts that actually go in the ground that hold the bridge up, along with the abutments on both ends of the bridge. This bridge that we have, like I said, is a 5-span bridge. A lot of bridges are 1-span, 2-span. Your larger bridges, of course, that go over the river, they have multiple spans that go with them. And the northern 2 spans are the ones that were heavily damaged. That gas line was on the northwest corner, and you saw the video, and it affected these first 2 spans, along with the pier and the abutment. But with the piers that you have girders, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then, of course, the bridge deck on top. So what you're seeing here is this is a kind of a cross section of the bridge deck itself. You have the bridge deck and then the girders that go on top of them. And the girders are what I really want to focus on here. And you can kind of see where the utilities were located on the structure. So the reason that it caused damage to the bridge is because the fire burned so long and for so hot, it affects the steel in the bridge. And you're looking at, well, it's just a concrete bridge. Well, no, there's bridges that are concrete, are made up of both concrete and steel. They're composite structures, and you can kind of see down here where how much steel is actually in each one of the girders, and then all of the interconnection steel that goes along with that. So that's why it was critical for us to look at the structure, do an evaluation, and evaluate truly what needed to be done with the bridge. And so you get to the point where, okay, we see the bridge and where to start from there. So if anybody's ever done project design in a river bottom, in a waterway, waters of the US, you always have permits that you have to work on. You have the 404 permits, you have Army Corps, and just those 2 alone could take you months to get through the permitting process, to get down into the river bottom, to be able to do the type of removal and repair that we had to do. But we were able to get through that very, very quickly, and acknowledgement to our own Office of Environmental Programs. Tricia Bailiff was a huge, huge champion for us to be able to push that through. Within a couple of days, we had approval from all agencies to be able to get down on the river bottom and do what we needed to do. And then the other items that we have to do before we can even start the demo process is we have to do testing on the concrete for asbestos and lead, and then we can start the demolition. So all of the first 3 items up to demolition we had done in a week. which is pretty amazing. And in that week's time, we were able to make a pathway down to the river bottom, make a pad, and get ready for the demolition part of that. We had to look at design. We had to find out kind of after the removal of all of the bad concrete, we had design working right with us. So those of you that are familiar with the design build process or CMAR process, this was actually a job order contractor that we actually morphed into that type of a process. So we were demoing and designing and moving forward as we go. And then one of our critical path items, as you can imagine, are your girders. We needed to get our local distributors. You don't know how busy they are, how they can fit you into schedules. You had to get the designs to them to where they can get everything formed up, ready to go. And we had that done very quickly also. So we were very, very fortunate to be able to move as quickly as we have on this so far. So this was the underneath the structure. This is the north end of the northwest corner. This is where the gas line was located and burned for 2 hours. And this is some of the demolition that you have. I do have a good video, kind of a quick time lapse. I'll show you at the very end. Pretty impressive. You can kind of see all the steel that's involved with the bridge. They moved very quickly. They removed a span every week. They removed the span 1 week, cleaned up the rubble and the steel. They actually separated it and took it to kind of a recycling areas to where it could be reused again. So that was a very fortunate that they were very good at what they did. Ground Level did a fabulous job on that. And just more of the first that north span being taken down. You can see the damage to the abutment, and this is completion of the first span. And you can see how much damage was actually done to even this last pier number 4 right here. And then you also get a good look at that. We removed this span also because the fire had actually enveloped all of this area underneath that span. And so where are we today? We are cleaned up, and you see that we have the this is where pier number 4 is. We have the we're able to chip out the concrete and able to use existing rebar. We've got the from pier number 3, we have that facing. We had to make a joint right here, and this is a picture as of yesterday. We have the columns for pier 4 done. The cap will be poured next week, and then the abutment was also removed, and that will be poured this week also. So we're moving very quickly. So from February into February, so March, April, we have 2 months. We have all of the upfront work done. We have demoed the bridge, and we are quickly on the repair just in the 2 months that we have right now. So just a quick look at the schedule. Again, the demo from when the fire started to where we were complete with the demo was just that 1 month. In 4 weeks, we were able to get the demo done, and all of the 2 spans, the pier, and the abutment completely demoed in that time frame. Up through May, we are, as I showed, the abutments, the piers will be done and poured by the end of this month. So we're right on schedule from what we had anticipated. The girders are being built as we speak. They will be on site June 14th and 15th to be set. And then after the girders are set, then you have to put on your deck pans and all the steel that goes in there, pour the deck. And for concrete, you have to have a curing time that's in there to be able to, for the girders and also for the deck, to be able to use the deck. There's a time for curing, but from the girders are set to where the bridge deck is done will be the first part if not the end of August to the first part of September. And so we're looking at keeping our fingers crossed that the entire, from the fire to opening of the structure will be about 5.5 months open to traffic. So just a quick thanks to a group of individuals that truly helped push this through. I mentioned Tricia earlier. Without her assistance up front, this is one of those items that will kill your critical path. We are working on another project up north where we're working with environmental and to get your Clomar, Lomars, those kind of things. You know, it could be months. So that it's hats off to Tricia for all of her help with that. Our Parks and Rec, again, underneath the Rio Salado, Emmett Boyd, he's been hand in hand with us, working with us, helping us with that end of it. Derek Rogers, he's my eyes, ears, and legs out on site. So I want to thank him. And then we couldn't be doing this and be as far along. Our contracting has been a huge partner with us through this entire process. So with that, I would like to, if I can, just real quick, I'll show you just a real quick time-lapse video of the removal. And you look at that pier, and the pier is in real bad shape. You can kind of see really, truly how much damage that caused. And you can see where they've gone through, separated the steel from the concrete, they clean it up, and then they move over to the next span. They've already cut across the deck for the joint, and then they start the removal process. And what they're working on a pad that had to be built down in the river bottom. And once you start doing any kind of work in the river bottom, like I said, waters of the US are very, very hard to work around. And without that ability to get in there as quick as we have, this would have taken easily another 2, 3, 4, 5 months to get done. So what you'll see here is they've got everything cleaned up, and then they'll come over to the pier number 3. They get it all cleaned up, and you saw pictures of that earlier on. So I'll stop that now. Stop sharing. And so overall, the progress is moving along very well. We have a lot of cooperation from everybody. We had phone calls with ADOT, the county. They were looking to see if we needed any help. It's amazing how many people truly reach out to you once you have a catastrophe such as this. Individuals that are truly willing to help us out. For the traffic control to begin with, I mentioned ADOT. We had to close off ramps and detour traffic right there at 7th Street. Again, they were great partners with this too. So with that, that's kind of my presentation. I'm opening it up to questions.
Well, thanks, Mark. That was excellent. Very interesting. I have a whole bunch. One is the drilled shafts that were for Pier 4. Did you leave those in place and you're building off those?
Yes, the Pier 4, the drill shafts, we figured out that they were actually covered. The drill shafts were, so they were not affected by the heat. So we were able to go down to the top of the drilled shafts, and we were able to chip around the rebar that was coming out of that drill shaft, and we were able to use that to connect into those columns that you saw.
Great. What was the age of the bridge?
The bridge was built in '86, so 86 to now 86, so about 35 years, 36 years.
Yeah, so you have new girders coming in, different design that was there in '86 then, correct?
To a point. We had all of the old as-built, and we had built fairly closely to that to the old design, but what we did was we brought it up to current standards. I think we increased the bridge deck thickness by a little bit, so that altered the girders by a little bit. So it's fairly close, but it's not identical to what was out there before.
Yeah, I didn't think it could be, just given the way everything changes. So my last question is so you had the bridge closed. Was there any opportunity to do any maintenance work on the part of the bridge that wasn't damaged?
Well, we have a very robust bridge inspection program. We do inspect all of our bridges every 2 years, and this bridge was previously inspected. There wasn't a lot of maintenance work that needed to be done with it, but there are some minor items that we are able to address. There were some settlement areas that were on the south end of the structure that we are addressing right now. And so we will be able to incorporate that too. But for the structure itself was very sound. We didn't have any true issues with it. It was just everything that kind of abutted up to it.
Yeah, good. Got a question here. You covered the impacted utilities, so is it safe to assume no flammable pipe or other materials were attached to the bridge and burned? That's impressive repair progress in the midst of a current construction material availability challenges.
Yeah, the other utilities that were on there, again, the AT&T were on the west side. Sprint had a conduit on the east side of the structure. We had a 6-inch water line that was attached to the outer end of the east end of the structure. So yeah, there wasn't truly anything else that we had issues with that burned. But what we are working on right now is the electrical conduit for the street light that fell down. You know, that we have issues with that. So we are adjusting on that end too. So there were some challenges with as much heat that was out there, but by removing those 2 sections of the deck, it helped us out quite a bit on having any kind of remedial work to be done.
Right. Hey, has Southwest Gas moved their line at a temporary location, or what are they doing with that existing line?
So they were able to loop their line. So there's nobody that's out of service right now. But we are working with them right now as far as having the accessibility to the structure. We're definitely looking at our practices internally as far as utilities and liability and everything that's on the bridge. But yeah, they were able to keep everybody in business, and there were some firms, businesses that were shut down for a short amount of time. But again, their system was looped, and they were able to cap and turn it back on.
Was there any initial explanation why 4 bolts were missing from that flange?
There's a lot of speculation with that. Again, it's under investigation. There discussions as far as, homeless was around there, or could have been other things, don't know. So, I'd hate to speculate as far as truly why those bolts were out and if that's truly what caused it.
Sure. Is the Rio Salado Trail under the other side of the river, is it open? And can trail users bypass the construction on the construction side of the bridge?
No, as it sits right now, until we get the girders up in June, the site is closed off and secured. We don't want to have any curious people out walking around around that area. So everything's fenced off and secured. I wanted to actually get down on the north side of the bridge, and they have it pretty well secured. There's individuals that go through and they cut chains and those kind of things, but we stay on top of it. We do have security that's out there. And so to answer your question, no, the site is secured right now until after June.
Well, at this time, I don't have any other questions here. If anybody has questions for Mark or Eric or Brianna, again, you can type them in here. We'll get them answered. We can't answer them today. We'll get them answered at some point in the future. And let me just check one more thing here. Nope. Don't know what that's about. So I want to thank Mark very much for giving us that presentation. It was excellent, and it's one of those things you probably never hope to have happen in your career. Hopefully it's a one and done kind of thing, but I'm sure it's very interesting to you.
It is, Joseph. I appreciate, again, I truly appreciate the opportunity to share the work that's going on. We're very excited at the progress that we are making. We have been asked, we had issues with the Tempe, that when the train caught fire. And so that part of the bridge was shut down for a couple months. And the difference, we were asked, well, why can't you get it back open that as quick as the Tempe train bridge was? But they're different structures. My understanding is that the girders, they have girders already cast and ready to go, and they don't have the decking to put on it. So there's a lot of different nuances from our structure to theirs that truly make this unique. And if anybody's have dealt with these types of spans before, getting this removed and replaced in 6 months, that's a feat in itself.
I agree. That's amazing. I have one more. Let's see here. This is from Fred Nelson. As I was deployed to the scene by the Phoenix fire, I thought that the pier could be repaired in place and that only a few of the girders in a second span were damaged. Did your staff consider these options? And did Southwest Gas pick up the bill?
Well, I'll start with the first question. So as you saw with the fire had burned again so hot so long for underneath that first span that we saw up to that pier. That entire section, as you saw all of the spalling of the concrete that was down, we knew the heat had impacted all of the steel that was in there. It just was not safe. We knew that it was blowing right on that pier cap, or on that pier number 4, as you saw kind of with the demo and some of the pictures, that the concrete had spalled off and had truly been affected with that. We didn't feel safe with getting that, even attempting to use that pier. We could have done testing. You weigh the testing and those kind of things to time impact of getting that road back open. And you kind of see how far we've come. If we were doing testing on that pier, that I think we'd still be waiting for test results and figuring out what we're going to do. So it was easier to get that pier out of the way. Now for that span number 4, the one that's further to the south, he's right. There were about 2/3 of the girders underneath we could see that had spalled and truly been affected by the fire. The other third was blackened. We knew that it had absorbed heat, but how do you cut a deck down the middle and try to retrofit that into your structure? Again, just by doing a design such as that, we'd still be on that design. So we decided to move forward with removing that entire span, starting off with what we knew was a good solid structure, and working to the north. Now, as far as the cost of who's paying for it, we're working through that right now.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be other professionals involved other than engineers in that decision. Fred also mentioned that he did do a report for Phoenix Fire. I wanted to know if you had been able to receive that report.
We have. Phoenix Fire had theirs that came out, and it's very, very detailed in depth. But on that Sunday, we actually had already engaged with a engineering firm, the one that's actually doing the design that came out and did a visual analysis of what they thought needed to be replaced. They mirrored very closely, and we appreciate all of that help.
Just as a side note for myself, how hot did the fire burn? Is there any estimate on how hot that was?
I haven't got that answer. I have asked that a number of times, but I've heard 2,000 degrees, 2,500. So I don't know. But, you know, for a 10-inch line just to burn, you know, there's got, at some point it's going to reach a maximum temperature, but I have not been able to find that yet.
Yeah. All right, well, we don't have any more questions. Mark, thank you very much for your time. Eric,
Thank you.
Brianna, thank you for your time. And we'll hopefully see everyone next month, and then in a short period, hopefully see everyone in person. Thanks everyone for attending, and have a good day.
Thank you.